What's up guys, this is John here. Today we are going to be looking at the Ford Transit vans. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So it's easy to see why the Ford Transit van has been selected for van life. There is a ton of space in the back. You can easily mod this thing out with a bed, drawers, whatever else you might need on the road. Because of the large interior storage cargo space, you can always fit these things out really nicely, and it's pretty easy to do given the circumstances. And while the inside gives a lot of space and room to work with, the outside decor is not so easy on the eyes. It is nice that they're starting to come out with other colors of the Ford Transit, but the overall aesthetic design is a little bit clunky feeling to me. Because the Transits can be easily mass-produced, it makes it a no-brainer as far as the van life movement is concerned. You can get a base model Transit 250 for right around $25,000 to $28,000, depending on what little things you want to add on to it, but they start around 25, 27, somewhere in that range. The Transits themselves, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I have made a couple of videos about some of the negative things, some of the issues I've had with our Transit 250, which we were not too happy with. Now, overall, just because I made a video about some of the things that we didn't like about the vehicle, doesn't mean that I hate the thing. I absolutely love our Transit 250. The Bluetooth on it is really handy. Everything about the thing, we've had no real mechanical issues other than a little recall here and there, but overall we've had no real issues, and that's saying an awful lot considering how many thousands of these things they put out there. So let's talk about the Ford Transit as a work vehicle. Now, I have one through the company I work for. We use it for carrying a ton of cargo all over. Tons of boxes, things are constantly thrown in and out of the van, and overall, again, no major problems as far as capacity or capability for storage. One thing I will say about this, if you're hauling metal racks in your Transit, make sure to put those metal racks in to the van rather carefully, because if you're not careful and you bang a metal rack up against the side of the Transit, it could easily puncture and go through the aluminum wall of the van itself. These vans are not as thick as the old E150 series vans. The walls on those were a little bit stronger and held up a little bit better, but this one here, you can poke right through it like a tin can if you're not careful. One thing I do like is there are several different varieties of Transits you can get. Even if you go with a 150 or 250, there are several different options within the 150 or 250 line. One thing obviously that would be different would be windows. You can also get a taller roof. Now if you need the ceiling in the van to be a little bit taller to walk around inside, look for parts, or store more items, you can get different varieties. Like I said, you have to special order the tallest series. I believe you won't typically find it on a dealership floor, but every now and again you'll see some of the other varieties out there. Now again, these Transits have become so popular that they've become very easy to mod out for business or pleasure. I've seen several of these here that have a motorcycle inside and a bed. I've seen several of these that have a full custom workbench inside set up with power tools and an inverter for power for those tools. So you can do almost anything with these Transits. They're available all over the world right now. Just about every single country you can actually get your hands on a Ford Transit. Just like most other Ford cars, they're readily available, we'll say. Now, like I said, there are other videos on my channel about the Ford Transit and the Ford Transit 250 series that I actually drive for work that would make you think that I'm not a huge fan of the Transit series vans. I do want to go ahead and just give a quick caveat and just let you know I like our Ford Transit van. I have had problems with it in the past. I have made a video about it where I threw those problems out there just to kind of talk about them and open up a line of conversation with you guys, the viewers, to see if you've had any problems too. Now, I am not in that video, I'm not entirely trying to shit on Ford or put them down or anything like that. We just had a couple of issues, and I'm really hoping to hear from you in this video. Let me know in the comments down below. If you have a Transit or have driven a Transit, you know, what kind of issues have you run into? What do you love about the van? I really want to hear from you guys on this one, because obviously I've made the video, I've put out there on my negative thoughts, and now I've made one putting out some positive thoughts and some love for the Ford Transit. What do you think? Talk to me in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. You know, have you had any issues? What do you love about the thing? What do you hate about it? Let me know down below. We'll try to keep it civil here. And thanks again for watching this video. If you liked this video, why not give it a thumbs up? Why not hit that subscribe button? It definitely helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. Now, let's talk about something you don't hear about on many other channels. See these windows on the side here, the one just behind the passenger door? The window behind that passenger door is very hard to find, and it's expensive. So here's an interesting story. We were outside of Chicago, and my partner was driving the van at that particular time. He had checked into his hotel room that night, and someone actually shot out the window behind that passenger door. Now, interestingly enough, I think they shot it out with like a 22 or a pellet gun or something small, because it didn't do an awful lot of damage to the rest of the vehicle, but it definitely shattered that back window. Now, you would think, no big deal, call the insurance company, go somewhere, Ford dealership maybe, and get that window replaced. However, that is a specialty window behind the door there in that backside, and that window is hard to find and pricey. So heads up, if you break that window, just know it's going to cost you a little bit to get it fixed. Be prepared for that, because we certainly we didn't think it was going to put us behind a couple of days while we were out of town, but it does. It takes, you know, you got to find it, you got to get it replaced, and it's pricey. So just to wrap it up, I want to let you know, guys, I really have enjoyed our Ford Transit. We've gotten an awful lot of use at it. I am almost at 100,000 miles now. I think we've had it for about 2 years. And in that time, we've kept everything up to date. We've done the oil changes and everything we need to do to maintain the vehicle. And like I said, other than the window issue, which could have happened to any vehicle, we've had no real problems out of this thing. There have been a couple of factory recalls where they had to do something with the drivetrain, which, you know, was frustrating, but it really wasn't the end of the world, if I'm being honest. It was pretty easy to fix, or to take to them to get fixed. So keep your eye out on this thing. If you like the Ford Transit series vans, expect big things from the new ones. I think Ford is catching on to the fact that the van life movement is really taking hold and their vehicle is being used. And in the future, I foresee Ford coming out with some model of their own that is kind of off-grid, off-road, kind of get out there and play mobile. Now, I see that as a way they're going to take this at some point, because of the recreational factor being such a big deal with this van. Everybody loves to get in them, loves to take them out into small places outdoors. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to hit like and comment down below. Thanks again.